Yo. Oh, hello,
Yo, what's up? What's going
Wonka.
on? Hey,
Yo.
what's up, ads?
Not much, man. I suddenly thought like maybe you desperately are going to be alone commentating tonight,
No,
and that's why you messaged. That's why you sent me the party invite, and I was like, oh shit, I better go and do my duties. So,
no, don't worry about it. Well, we're on. Like, I just turned on the stream right now, so we're live right now. But if you're definitely more than welcome to
oh,
join
sorry.
if you want to.
Yeah, of course, man. Obviously, I would love to if you would like to have me. Yeah, sorry, I didn't realize the stream was live, so apologies for any bad language.
No, it's hilarious because as soon as I turned it on and I muted it, it was like, "Yo," it's just perfect.
It's- I really like. I was playing a little bit of Helldivers with some friends, and I was like, I gotta go because if Wonka needs someone to commentate with, then I gotta be there. And so, but I assumed you weren't live already, so
No, that's perfect.
yeah. Good. Right, and I'm excited as well because it's the Academy League race tonight, right?
Yep, that's right. And we got 11 participants. They're all doing, pretty well with the car so far, so it's gonna be a pretty good race.
Well, I mean, we had huge excitement last week, so I can
Yeah,
only imagine what we're gonna have this week.
yeah, and like this time it's not gonna be a course where it's just like mostly straight. So there's gonna be a lot more racing and attempting passes around some of the turning complexes and stuff. So a lot to look forward. With that
For
being
sure.
said, let me kick off qualifying here real quick, and then we'll get this kicked off. Give me 1 second. All right, here we go. So, ads, I'm getting a little bit of an echo, I think, from your mic.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me turn it down a bit.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Perfect.
Apologies for that.
Nah, no
Uh,
worries.
is that better?
Test 1 2.
Hopefully. One
This
two one
is
two.
still a little bit.
One moment.
Okay.
Time is just the connection, so
Yeah, no
hopefully
worries.
that's better.
Test 1 2. Oh yeah, there we go. That's perfect.
Okay. Yeah. It just wasn't tight enough in there.
All right. Okay. If you're just joining us, welcome. Welcome back to another round of the Academy League. We're running round 2 today at Autopolis, but the short course version of the track. At the moment right now, we got 11 cars on track qualifying for their positions for race 1. And, like I was talking to ads earlier, it's a lot to look forward to today. There's a lot of good racing from race 1 and from round 1, the races 1 and 2. So I'm excited to see how the races play out today, especially with the added balance that the cars got for the race results from the previous race. So super exciting.
Yeah, and there was definitely some people that we didn't expect so much, and some people that we did expect so much that did very well last week. So it's going to be a very intriguing round 2.
Yeah. So with that being said, let's take a look at the current standings of the championship at the moment. So Flying Disc is currently in first place in the championship standings. We've got Trackhead in second place with 25 points. Sunny B in third place with 24 points. So pretty close, top 3. And then check this out. We got Bishop, Kaido, and Thundermouse, 4th, 5th, and 6th, all tied with 21 points. Neil in 7th with 17. And then we have Ollie, Motsky, and Dinosaur tied for 8th with 15 points. So it's like a really tight field. War is in 11th with 10 points. Token Timmy is in 10th or 11th tied for 11th with 10 points. And then we got Rogue in 13th and Cobra in 14th.
See, this whole sort of academy league I think is going to be a lot less obvious who is going to be the winner. Like the skill levels between everyone in it is so close. It really is anyone's league. So I'm really excited to see what's going to happen today. I think it's a much bigger challenge perhaps than last week's course. So who knows what we're going to see. Hopefully some great overtaking, some great racing, tight close quarters racing. That's what I want to see personally.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And speaking of a tight field, so currently Neil is running in 3rd place, and he's only 0.02 of a second faster than Flying Disc. And currently, so Chad right now, this is actually his first LRC league race. He's been a long-time member of LRC. I don't know, maybe since maybe a couple months since we started LRC, he was a member. So he's been, I think, a member for, 6 months now?
Yeah, Chad's name is one of those that I recognize very well. Another one of the very polite Canadian members of LRC, along with, is it Sunny Jolly, as of course another one of our Canadian members.
Sunny B.
Sunny B, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
And but yeah, like Chad, I've seen around for ages, but going to be interesting to see how he performs on a more competitive stage. But seeing like the improvements in the times and the racing in everyone in this group, especially like compared, like a lot of these people were in the lower division of the league along with myself, and like watching how well, especially people like Disc and Timmy and Ollie Bolly, like the improvements they've made between then and now is amazing. And so I'm really excited to hopefully watch some really good, really close racing between all of these guys.
Yeah, and so to add on to that, so a lot of the drivers too have gotten upgrades in equipment too. So Kilopros, for example, he recently switched from controller to the Logitech G Pro, actually. So a huge upgrade in equipment for there.
Yeah.
And I think I was saying earlier that Chad actually, he stopped doing some sim racing for a while there because he got into an ATV accident, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh no.
And wasn't able to do sim racing because of an injury. So glad to see Chad
I hope
back.
He's all recovered now. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, glad to see Chad back in the cockpit in sim racing, and hopefully he'll be able to continue as he slides off the course there into the hairpin. So slowly joins track.
But yeah, I'll be interested to see. Was it Chad that you were saying who was moved from the from a controller to a G Pro?
That was Kilopros.
Kilopros, sorry. So I'll be interested to see, because having myself been through a period where I had to use a controller and realizing just what a disadvantage that puts you at. It'll be interesting to see someone who's gone from that as being everything they know to now having a wheel and pedals, and whether that puts a large amount of extra time, like takes off a large amount of time to their regular race-based time. I mean, I know that there are some people that I would refer to as perhaps mentally deranged that prefer driving on a controller, but
it makes
I think
it makes a lot of people. I was gonna say it makes like some people like Dutra and Silva, for example, like even that more impressive to be on pace with their controller. Like that just boggles my mind.
It boggles my mind because they're two of the fastest guys in LRC as well, and KG you need to put in that bracket too. Yeah.
Well, KG is like on a different level. Like he uses the D-pad. He doesn't even use
Yeah.
Like he doesn't even use like the joysticks. Or the triggers for. He uses like he could play a GT7 with like a PS1 controller and still be
Yep.
as fast as he is right now.
KG, like people say, "Oh, I'm playing chess while you're playing checkers." KG's playing Mario Kart while we're playing GT7. That's the way I see it, and that's why he wins anytime I race him. But yeah, I don't think like if you're not someone that has used both a controller and a wheel, it's probably hard to make the comparison. But like, honestly, now when I hear about people that are so fast and they're still on a controller, I'm like, that's ridiculous. Like, people
Yeah.
they shouldn't be able to be that quick on controller, but they are,
Yeah.
and fair play to them.
Yeah, and I think GT7 has done a really good job to make the controller experience like viable, you know? Like I think for example, if you try to play ACC with a controller, it's like a 1,000 times more difficult to even get close to what you would be compared to GT7. So
Yeah.
like GT7 is more optimized for that like controller like gamer experience, and it equalizes the difference between a controller and a wheel, which I think is actually really great. You know, I think a lot of people who are kind of more purists around sim racing would disagree, but I think it's a good thing overall.
Oh, I think it definitely in regards to accessibility. Like, if people know
Yeah.
that, okay, I can only race on controller, like not everyone in the world can afford to a sim racing setup. So if you can go, well, at least I can be competitive. Or even in the case of the three guys we mentioned there, like Dutra and KG and Silver, like not just competitive, but actually win races while you're on controller. Then I think it's almost more of an achievement than it is to do it with a wheel and pedals to an
Yeah.
extent, because when you do have the wheel and pedals, you're able to kind of feel the road, feel the track. You can race it like to an extent like you would a car in real life, and like you yourself, Wonka, have a lot of experience with karts and that sort of thing. So I hope you would agree with what I'm saying there, but. To be able to like actually win races and put down fastest laps on controller when the majority of people you're racing against is on like a full wheel and pedal setup, it's very impressive. But yeah, I'm excited to see what we're going to see from the races today. Hopefully a little less feisty than last week's second race, but a little more close quarters is what I'm hoping
Yeah.
for.
And speaking of close quarters, so we're kind of wrapping up qualifying at the moment. Ali Bali is currently sitting in pole position at the moment. But check this out. So Trackhead is 2/10 of a second off of Ali Bali. And then he's only 5/100ths of a second ahead of Neil, who's only 3/100ths of a second in front of Bishop, who is then only about a 10th ahead of Chad, who's then only about 600. So it's like they're all within less than a 10th. And check this out, Killer Pros in 6th place with 1,000th of a second in front of Flying Disc. Like, that is insane. And then Flying Disc in 7th, who is 800ths of a second in front of Cobra. Cobra is a 10th in front of Sunny B. And then Sunny B is a full second in front of Token Timmy, who is about half a second in front of Mosky. So, like, basically from 1st to 9th is all within a second of each other. And then Token Timmy and Motsuki are kind of like a little bit more off the pace, but they're still relatively close to each other. So super tight field.
Yeah. And I think even someone like Disc finishing a little bit further back than he might have liked, I think he knows that he's probably got consistency if he can maintain it and keep it up there. But okay, and of course, obviously you've got B-Ship in this race, who we know is a great and very consistent racer. So this should be a very open and interesting competition as to who can actually win it. Um,
Yeah, so let's go over the results real quick one more time. Let's see here. All right, so we got So Ali Bali again has pole position with a 112.7. And then yeah, take a look at that gap. For basically from 1 to 8th, it's only half a second. That's nuts. So
Yeah, this is completely anyone's race.
yeah. So we
But
have
what I really want to see is like we saw a couple of them last week, but I want to see more of that. And obviously, it might be asking too much of anyone anywhere, but I just want to see great overtakes around the outside. That's what I'm all about. Is like those, like we saw some really nice overtakes around the inside last week. A couple of people definitely made some great passing moves, and I think with this kind of course, with this kind of track, that we're going to see a lot more interesting racing. Hopefully, some risks taken, but not at the expense of other people, but risks taken. And yeah, I can't wait to see who's going to come out on top on this race. With everything being so close, it really is anyone's race, and so early still in the season, it's anyone's season at the moment. So a good performance here could put people who were perhaps completely out of contention in the last race into contention in this race. So this should be a very interesting race to watch.
so Tug and Timmy's asking me if there's any way to save the replay from qualifying. I don't think there is, unfortunately. I never found a way to be able to save qualifying results.
Well, and I hope that's not due to him having some sort of incident within qualifying, and he's
Yeah,
asking that
that's
because,
what I'm thinking maybe happened.
yeah, that would be a shame. And I know, like for myself, during the league season, I didn't have an incident with any races at all, but I did make a very bad move on Rogue Nipra during the league season last year, and it wasn't until like the next week that Dinosaur told us you can actually report people for their conduct within the qualifying. And like I think Rogue and we're absolutely fine now, but I think he was quite upset because I did sort of take him out during that qualifying at Mount Panorama. So hopefully it's not been a similar incident for Token Timmy there, and that's why he wants the replay. Hopefully he just wants the replay because he was pleased with his lap, but we'll see, I guess.
Yeah, seeing that he was second off the pace, maybe something did happen, but I mean that's why. So I set the tire wear, and the fuel to 1x for qualifying, so it makes it a little bit easier to bank a couple laps in a row. It's not like the league where you have so much tire wear that you can only do one hot lap. You have to pit and then you have to go
Yeah,
back out. So
yeah, yeah, yeah. Honestly, the league was a mad learning curve because, like, so often I thought I'd built these best strategies that you could ever have, and then they just turned out to be the worst possible strategy. And sometimes, like, you think, oh, well, if I'm making 3 seconds a lap on softs, but I need to make two extra stops, does that make sense? And for me, I thought yes, but it really doesn't. So I'll be curious to see how these guys do on their strategies now for the remainder of this race and what they plan to do. But it's a very interesting grid if I have the grid set up as to what it should be right now.
yeah. So what you see on the right is the running order, and then do you want me to share my screen too on the PlayStation thing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
let's do
might
that.
help because yeah, thank you.
All right, there we go. You should be able to see it now. All right, so if you're just joining us too, so there's a couple cool things about this Academy League right now. So tire wear is really high. It's on 50x. The race requires you requires you to run the racing softs and the racing hards, and it's going to be really interesting because drivers are going to have to pick between using the softs or the hards first. So if you're going to use them first, you want to use them to gain track position, which is important here at Autopolis because it's actually pretty hard to pass. But if you save them for a stint later, your car is going to weigh a little bit lighter since there's also fuel savings, or sorry, fuel consumption is pretty high, but you don't have to refuel your car. So you could potentially make your racing softs last longer in the second half of the stint and then make up those places towards the end of the race. So going to be a lot of cool stuff seeing like the hards and people on mixed tire compounds, mixed strategies, fighting for position, and we'll see it all come together towards the end.
And so is this week like last week as well, where they have to run two specific compounds of tires?
Yeah, that's correct. They got to run both the hard and the soft.
Right. So again, it's going to be very interesting to see who decides to go out on the softs first and maybe tries to make up a bit of a lead, or who goes out on the hards and goes for the faster stint towards the end. And that's, of course, if they just choose a one-stop.
Yeah, and that's right. So one stop is going to be optimal. Yeah, because the softs will last around, depending on how much ballast you have, will last anywhere from 6 laps to potentially 10. So, and then the hards will last the rest of the race. So if you start on the hards, you want to go maybe until lap 11 or 12, depending on how much ballast you have, and then finish the race on softs. So it's really going to be a one-stop race for everyone. But again, it kind of depends on whether or not they want to start on the softs or start on the hards will determine like what their strategy is. All right, with that being said, looks like we're ready to start this race up. So let's get that kicked off. I think Ward joined, but then he quickly left. I think he just didn't want to join. Okay, so
okay, that's a shame. He was in this group last week, no?
He was, yeah. He was a bit frustrated though because I don't think he enjoyed the car. So we'll
okay.
Yeah, maybe he just joined to see what was up. But with that said, we'll just start the race.
Yeah, for some reason I can't view your screen, but hopefully it means I can see things perhaps that you won't see going on the track, and I'll watch them from the lobby here.
Well, you should be able to click on my name and split the screen, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I should be able to, but it's PS5 things. Like I click on view shared screen, and then it keeps trying to make me buy a new copy of Gran Turismo 7.
Oh no.
So yeah.
Okay, we're off, and we got a clean start from all the racers. Looks like Ollie Bali had a good start. Looks like B-Ship jumped into 3rd place. And it looks like everyone got out fairly cleanly. And one of the big things with the start here is that, oh no, looks like, I don't know who that was. Maybe that was Token Timmy, who got off the track there. It was Cobra, who went off into turn 1 and unfortunately lost a lot of places. But I was saying earlier that
Timmy
the balance
makes
right. A huge difference.
Yeah. Disc has made a lovely move around the outside on B-Ship. I'm not sure if there's any reason why B-Ship was so slow going around the inside there, though. I don't know if there was something that happened before I caught up with their cars. Yeah, and Ollie Bolly's is actually making a nice lead for himself, but he's got Trackhead right in behind him. So those two actually gaining a little bit of a lead on the remaining cars.
So Killer Pro's right now in 4th place at the moment, starting from, I think it was 6th place, so he gained 2 positions. What I was saying earlier is that if the cars have a lot of ballast in the start, you potentially lose 1 or 2 positions to the other cars, since the ballast has such a huge effect on the starting first couple seconds of starting, because your car is pretty much is in the sitting position, so the ballast makes a huge difference on the grid start.
And who has ballast on currently? So
Yeah, so
is that
ballast.
all of the people who finished in the top like 6 from last week had ballast?
Yeah, so the way we did ballast for this season, we did a qualifying shootout, and then we applied ballast based on people's pace to equalize the field. So right now, Sunny B has the most ballast right now. He's currently sitting in 9th place. He's got 120 kilograms of weight on his car, so it's really weighing his car down.
Yeah.
And then from there, it just gets progressively less and less and less based on the pace. So everyone had kind of like a different ballast setting there initially.
Oh,
no.
There's some sort of issue with B-Ship. I'm not sure what's happened there. I didn't see it, but he's come off the track. So we've lost B-Ship, and I don't know if anyone else was involved with him, but no, he's fallen right back to last place due to that error there.
Yeah, turn
Cobra. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say turn 10 is a bit tricky, and I think this is where Bishop lost it. So into turn 10, there's like a crest at the beginning of the turn that makes your car lose a lot of mechanical grip, and then it can really cause your car to oversteer a lot when you enter the mid part of the corner. So I think maybe Bishop had a little bit of a issue there with the hards.
But we've got a nice little battle going on at the front here. Ollie is trying to create some sort of gap, but Trackhead not allowing him to do so. He's with him within every sort of move he's making so far. Neil is not too far off the two of them, followed closely behind by Killer Pros and Chad Bro.
Yeah, so we're starting to see the field kind of split into two groups, and this is a clear divide between the strategies. So the first group is potentially all on softs, it looks like, and then the cars in the second group are all on the hards. So we'll see these two kind of keep separating as the race goes on, but then towards the end we'll see them all come together.
Well, that's quite interesting as well, because it could be that the whole sort of group who are on the softer tires to start end up switching places with like the back half when they then switch on to the soft tires. So it'll be very interesting when the two groups kind of merge based on the differences between their two strategies.
Yeah, and if the cars on the softs are fighting a lot between each other, they're gonna lose out on a lot of pace that the softs are supposed to give them. So if they keep battling, then there's a potential for them to all lose out on their soft stint. But Trackhead there putting the pressure on Ollie Bali, not able to make the pass or look for an opening, but Ollie Bali right now soaking up the pressure. But as I say that, puts two wheels on the grass and keeps it on the track, thankfully. I did not do the commentator's curse there.
No, I think, I mean, he's not been with us for the longest of time, Ollie, but he's definitely shown himself as a very capable racer in the time that I've raced with him, certainly. So it's going to be interesting to see whether he can hold off the attack of Trackhead over the next few laps until these guys go in for their bits. And then where they're left when they switch on to the other compound tires, and whether this battle, will they regret it sooner or later? Or, I mean, they could move out in front and work together to an extent, but I don't think that's what we're going to see is going to happen. Although I say that, and right at this moment it looks like exactly that's what they're doing. Trackhead right in Ollie Bali's slipstream. But Neil and Chad Bro and Killer Pros not far behind.
Yeah, look at that train right there. So Trackhead loses out a little bit on the exit of turn 1 and is passed by Neil. So Neil takes a really good opportunity there and takes the inside.
Oh, and he's lost another place as well to Killer Pros there as he takes the inside too.
Killer Pros
Ooh.
takes the inside of the hairpin, but Ollie
This is
Bolly
a
makes it stick
great
on
little
the
run from
outside.
Killer Pros. Yeah, but look at that. That's both. Killer Pros has gone round both Trackhead and Ollie Bolly to move into second place, and now he's hunting down Neil, who has randomly just jumped into first without us even noticing. So there may have been some even great moves from both of those two there.
And then
And the
Chad
whole
and
sort of
Trackhead. Yeah, Chad and Trackhead go side by side out of turn 11. And it's crazy battle going there. They almost were at 3 wide at one point. Chad decides to dive into the pits there. So this is where ballast also starts playing a really important role into tire wear. So Ollie Bolly and Trackhead have significantly more ballast on their cars, so they're going to wear their tires out much quicker. And if you take a look, Killer Pros has about like 50% of his tire wear on his soft still available to him. So the fact that his ballast is, I think he's at 0 ballast actually, has given him a huge advantage into the second half of this first stint on the racing softs.
All right, and Neil seems to be actually creating a little bit of space for himself there, moving out a little bit further than everyone else. We'll see how long that lasts for. And this is going to get really interesting when the two strategies collide. Like, so when the guys who have started out on soft tires here meet up with the guys who are choosing softs for their later stints in the race, I think we're in for a great race here as to, oh, and that's Neil already into the pits though, after just, what, 8 laps. So do you think he might possibly be going for a 2-stop? Or do you think he's going to switch to hards and try and run the whole rest of the race now?
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to run a 2-stop strategy. I think maybe, yeah, it's interesting him pitting early because I remember seeing his softs and they were like close to 50% or 40% still. He was nursing them pretty well. So maybe he just thinks that the pace with softs worn at 50 or 60% is still slower than new hards. So yeah, maybe he feels confident that he can run faster laps with fresh hards.
Interestingly, this has now left Killer Pros out like 9 seconds in front of everyone else. He's creating a big gap for himself. Will he try and run like 2 or 3 more laps on these soft tires and make more of a gap and perhaps hopefully put himself way in front of everyone else for a first place position? Or is that pit stop going to kill him when he has to come in and switch those tire compounds?
I think it makes a lot of sense for him to keep running. He's got clean air. He's got, his tires aren't completely dead. And I think most importantly, the clean air is going to keep him running some consistent laps. So Chad, for instance, when he pitted, he came out just behind, I think it was Trackhead initially, who is also on hard. So like, again, like if you're up in the front and you're pitting at the moment, you're going to be coming out around where most of the other hard runners are running at the moment. And you're going to be in traffic. So like Trackhead, for instance, he's behind Chad right now in front of Ollie, and then there's Bishop behind him. So like there's quite a bit of like traffic for those who already had to pit stop or had their pit stop. It's a pretty intense race so far.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy.
Well, I have to say at the moment, from what I'm looking at, Killer Pro's strategy seems to be working great for him. He's not really extending that lead, but he's maintaining it at like 9.5 seconds. I guess we're going to see now where he comes out and whether he comes into a big fight in other cars that's going to use up a bunch of his tires. Oh, and then of course Motsky is just dipping into the pits now as well.
Right.
And we know from the last league that Motsky is a great racer. He's got good form. So I guess still with 8 more laps to go.
Kilbros comes out in 4th place, right in between Neil and Cobra. and slides on the inside. Oh, he has a collision there with, looks like it was maybe Neil. And oh, he's waiting up for him. So great sportsmanship there by Killer Pros. Recognizes that he ran.
That's
I think
always
it
good
was.
to see.
Yeah, I think he recognized that he ran Neil off the track there and gave the position back. So that's great to see. But so all of the softs, all the people who started on the softs pitted already. So currently right now, Sunny B is in the lead, but not necessarily the net lead. He still has to pit and switch over to the softs.
And so Sunny B is he the last to pick? 'Cause he's got, what has he got? Nearly a 4-second gap on everyone else behind him, but he's got like Token Timmy, who is one of those racers we've seen for the last few, who seems to know very well like how to strategize and how to like consistently keep decent laps, like maybe not the fastest lap of every lap, but always keep like a decent lap timing. And I'm really like, there's 7 laps to go now. We got Timmy in second, Sunny B in first, and Cobra in third. I don't know if any of them still need to pit or not, and if they don't, then are we going to see big changes or not? I think that's all going to come down to tyre wear between those racers behind them. But then you look at every racer in this group from like 1 to 11, and honestly, like if you showed me this list of people to race against before this race and said put a bet on them, I wouldn't know any, like like they are so close in skill and speed level. It's impossible to decide between any of them. So, which is what makes these races so interesting.
All right, so Sunny B and Token Timmy dive into the pits, and Cobra as well. And I think these are the people who started on the hards and are now going to switch on to the softs. So, even though that they're going to be moving to the back of the grid, they're going to have the softs to go faster and catch up.
Yeah. But now it's all about consistency, because you've got 6 laps on those soft tires. If that's your chosen strategy, which may well work in your favor, but you need to have the consistency to now put down those fastest laps out of everyone.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens from here. Like if there's any changes in the top 10. I see Trackhead at some point has taken first position.
Trackhead there coming out of the hairpin like sideways. He keeps control of his car, but like I thought for a second there he was gonna spin out. But yeah, like so Sunny B comes out in 8th place with a new set of soft tires. He's gonna have to fight through a lot of traffic, even with his pace advantage and the tire advantage. He's gonna have to fight through a lot of traffic to get back up into the podium. So I don't know if he's gonna have enough laps to do all this, but as I say this, he just makes his way around Motsky at the turn 10 and 11.
Yeah.
So Sunny B currently with the most ballast. Motsky's catching up quite a bit in the straightaway and takes the inside into turn 1. Oh, he has a look, but doesn't.
Yeah. No, Sunny has it.
He backs up. Yeah. All right.
And again, not so much as it affected last week, but I think with these kind of cars, a lot of it comes down to whose slipstream you can get into. If you're running in 6th, 5th, 4th, 3rd, and you're on the softer compound tires, as long as you haven't fallen outside of the like slipstream of the person in front, there's always a chance you can keep pulling yourself up to those like podium positions.
Yeah, indeed. And the slipstream with these cars is pretty strong once you get in striking distance. So
yeah,
you even with the ballast, you gain quite a bit of speed following the slipstream. So I think seeing like the cars the trains forming, I think like those are just essentially DRS trains, like what you see on Formula One, where it kind of makes
Yeah.
it harder for cars in the train to make a pass because the car in front also has the effects of minimal downforce from the slipstream of the car in front. So really, really cool stuff opening up. So it looks like Sunny B made his way around Killpros and is now in 5th place with 4 more laps to go on those softs. He's gonna make a run for it. He's got 6 seconds to Neil, who I believe is the last of the group who started on the softs and are now running the hards to the end.
So that's going to be interesting to see whether Neil can actually hold off Sunny B now on that faster compound of tyres. I'm just watching Trackhead here. There's a very interesting battle opening up between both Trackhead and Chad Brochill. And it looks, okay, watch this. So is Chad going to try and make a move around the outside, which, oh, he is.
Oh, they go side by side into turn 1.
And he
Chad
makes the
makes it
move.
stick. Wow.
Chad living up to his name as a Chad there, making the move stick around the outside. Wow. Okay, so Chad has put himself into the best possible position with 3 laps left to go. And Trackhead is now drawn into a battle with Ollie Bolly between the two of them. Although Ollie, am I right in saying Ollie is holding more ballast than Trackhead at this point?
Yes, I think it's only about maybe 10 or 15 more, so not a huge difference between the two.
Right. And,
Yeah, so,
but Trackhead is not losing off on anything, though. He's still keeping Chad Brochill in his sights, even after that incredible move we've seen for Chad Bro. And we've got, what, 3.5 laps left.
yeah.
So this is really where it comes down to. No longer is it about your strategy, but how well can you race. This is pure racing now as to who can win it. And Trackhead tries to make a move, and I think he made contact, and that may have paid off badly for him. I think he made like very slight contact with Chad, and out of feeling bad, he's backed off, which has allowed Ollie Bolly to jump into that 2nd place position there.
Yeah. At this point, it's absolutely crucial to race clean in the train, because as soon as you have to give a position back, it's going to put you at a disadvantage against the cars behind you. So you got to be very, very careful and strategic.
Yeah. I think that's exactly what's happened with Trackhead there. I think he was desperately trying to get back that 1st place position and maybe made a move that was a little bit more contactable than it should have been with Chad. So he backed out, which has left the opportunity for Ollie Bolly, our resident Dutchman, to jump into 2nd place. So now with just 2 laps left to go, it really is, I guess, a race between these 4, which is Chad, Ollie Bolly, Trackhead, and Neil.
Yeah, and we also got this crazy 4-car battle for essentially what is 5th place at the moment. So like Token Timmy, Cobra, Motsky, and Bishop all within like a second or 2 with each other. Cobra under attack by Motsky, and then Sunny B is catching up actually to the train, so he's only 2 seconds now from Neil. So as the leaders continue to fight, they're gonna really slow down their pace and allow Sunny B to potentially grab a podium, because he's on the softs right now. The top 4 are on the hards.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? And this might be where that strategy pays off, where going to the compound later pays off. But I guess it really depends. Like, if you're a good defender of a driver, then you're probably better off starting off on the softs, making a gap, and then defending. But
Trackhead and Ollie Bolly get side by side into turn 11, and Trackhead loses a little bit of ground due to getting his car in the dirt there.
Yeah, and you can
Sunny
see
B
he's
goes
out
into
wide to the
fourth.
rest of the group. Yeah.
Oh, but Trackhead is okay. Trackhead takes a quick look down the inside, but decides to back out. Rightfully so. But Sunny B got his eyes set on Neil. Goes side by side into turn 2. Makes quick work. Oh no, it doesn't quick work.
And
Oh,
for a oh no, he's made this. There's a real back and forth going on between these two, between Neil and Sunny B at the
but he
moment. Then,
takes the
because like it,
outside. Yeah. Sorry.
yeah, yeah. No, you're all good. And yeah, and it looks like Sonny has managed to maintain that third place. But yeah, like there was a fight for position there. I didn't see exactly what happened on the track, but I saw that it went like fourth, third, fourth, third, fourth, third.
Yeah,
So
Sonny made a quick work with around the double apex on the left-handers because he had a lot more grip. But now he's coming side by side with Ollie Bali around the last corner. And I don't know if he's gonna be able to make it stick. Oh, but Ollie Bali shuts the door on the way out.
he does. He
And
did shut the door so well.
and
And
Chad
they
takes
crossed
the
the
finish.
line. Sonny B holds second. Chad in first. Chad Bro finishes first. Amazing. And yeah, Sonny came out of nowhere pretty much there to grab that final podium position.
Yeah, that was crazy. So Sonny and Ollie were almost side by side into turn 10. And as they were getting out of the turn 11, they were essentially like had a little bit of contact. So that might end up getting reviewed, maybe in a post race incident. But man, that was insane. So Sunny B made up like 3 places on the last lap. It was absolutely insane.
Yeah. And I wasn't watching all of them second for second, so I didn't see it. But like, this is almost what I was wishing for, like close, hard racing. I'm really pleased to see that on the last lap. It seems like, there was no quarters given for anyone. So
Yeah, that
very
was
interesting
crazy.
race. Yeah.
All right.
But some of the people that I may have put my money on, nowhere to be seen in that bit. So I'll be interested to see how the second race goes.
All right, so let's take a quick look at the results one more time. So Chad Bro with the win, Ali Bali in second place, and Sunny B in third place, rounding out the podium. We got Neil in fourth place, Trackhead in fifth, sixth, Token Timmy Cobra in seventh, Motsky in eighth, Bishop in ninth, Flying Disc in 10th, and Kill Pros, who started off really, really well. He had a little bit of trouble towards the end of the race and ended up in last place. So maybe in the next race, he'll be able to do better.
Well, I mean, he was fighting for the front for the all throughout that. So, but sometimes these things happen. Like sometimes you start off in a race and you think, yeah, I've got this, and you realize the fact you were out at the front towards the end is because you've absolutely destroyed your tires.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you only learn those things whilst within the race itself. So perhaps some people in this next race will take some of the things they've learned from the previous race into the next one, and we might see that there's a very different field at the front, or we might see exactly the same.
Yeah, and it's such a wide range of like results here. So Flying Disc, for example, was leading the championship and just ended up in 10th place. So not a crazy result for him, but
No,
yeah.
a surprising result for Flying because he's been very consistent for the last sort of 8-10 races, like competitive LRC races I've seen him in. So not sure if there was an incident there or if just
Mm-hmm.
perhaps people have worked out better strategies, but I guess we'll see whether people are going to learn for this next one.
Yeah. So with the results, there's added ballast to the race winners. So Chad gets an additional 20. Let's see here. And then who got second? It was Ollie Bali gets an additional 10. And then Sunny B gets an additional 5. So Chad now should be at 60 kilograms, and I'm just gonna end up messaging to these to the drivers. But yeah, absolutely crazy race. And then once I input these into the spreadsheet, we can take a quick look at the current championship standings.
So I'll be very interested to see the current standings.
Right, so Ollie now is at 79 kg, and then Sunny B. So Sunny B, being already at 125, finishes third place, and so he continues to get more ballast.
I honestly, like, Sonny B has got so fast, like, since I've known him. Like, I knew him, I don't know, pretty much only since we started the last league races, like the last league that we did. And he sort of came out of nowhere. Like, no one expected that much from Sonny, and now he's like at the top of most of the races he's in. So I'll be curious to see whether he can maintain his current like great form with that extra ballast, or whether that's really going to affect him or not. But I think so far the ballast, it doesn't look like it's hugely affected. Although, so how like Flying Disc is running a fair amount of ballast at this point though, because he did so well last week, right? So
Yeah, he's at
perhaps that.
86 at the moment.
Mm.
Yeah, so to put it in the context, so Ollie was at 70 during this race. Sunny B was at 120, so significantly higher than anyone else. He had the most.
You see, both Sunny B and Ollie, like they are incredibly competitive racers, and in fact, the improvement that we've seen in everyone within this group over the last like couple of months has been insane. And now putting them into like the Academy League races, it really is a lot to play for to prove who is like the best of the best out of these guys. But again, with the whole like ballast thing, it's anyone's race again. So all I'm hoping for is more like close quarters. I want to see really great overtakes around the outside. That's what I'm all about.
And this first race delivered, so I would think the second race will deliver
It
as well.
absolutely did. Yeah, yeah.
Man, that was like a highlight. And seeing Chad go around, I think it was Trackhead at the time,
Yeah.
into turn one, that was absolutely awesome. All right, so we're just waiting on Cobra right now to green up. All right, so I'll set the starting grid to be the opposite of what it was for the track, for the results of the first race.
Mm. So we have a reverse grid as well, which will
Yes.
make things even more exciting.
Yeah, this is my whole thing for this league, is just to make every single race as close as possible.
It makes for great racing. It really does. I don't know whether the people who finish first and then get 100 kg are thinking the same. They might be sort of cursing you, Wonka, to be honest. But but it does make for great racing.
All right, so we gotta wait for, I think, Token Timmy. All right, I gotta add Token Timmy into the list here. Token Timmy should be, let's see here, 6. So right in front of Trekhead. Orba in front of Motsky. I think we are now set for our second race. All right, let me just get a confirmation from our drivers that they're ready. And then if we get 11 Rs, we'll be ready to go for race 2.
Excellent. And can I just say as well, isn't it nice to see that so many members of LRC have that S-rated sportsmanship, even if their driving rating doesn't matter about their driving rating. It's great to see that, like, the majority of people that we have in this group are clean racers. And I know there's the odd one who hasn't, but I think those guys, they don't really do the sport races as well. So I think most people involved in this league do, like, prioritize clean racing above speed. And then I think you can't even judge speed when it comes to like Gran Turismo sport races because um, so often other people make other factors within those races. But it's great to see like that the majority of people in the LRC have like that S-rated sportsmanship. So even the times when they occasionally do go and race against random people online, they're keeping it clean, and I like that.
Yeah, most definitely. So I have 10 readies. I think we're missing, let's see here. Line Disc, Motsky, Ked, Token Timmy, Cobra, Sunny Bee. God, who are we missing? I think we're missing Bishop. No, Bishop's there. Token Timmy. Yeah, Token Timmy's there. Ollie. I think we're ready to go. Wait, no, Killer Pros.
All right.
Mia. Killer Pros. Quick. Just want to make sure that we're not going to start the race without a driver.
Yeah. Yeah, we wouldn't want that.
All right, if he doesn't respond in like a minute, it's possible he might be just driving around. Let me check. Maybe he's just genuinely not ready, so we'll just wait. Just wait for him. Oh, he's okay. Sounds good. All right.
All right, let's go.
All right, so Killer Pros has pole position for round 2 at Autopolis. Flying Disc in second, Bishop in third. We got our 5 lights up, and we are off. Looks like everyone gets a clean start, no false starts.
Yeah, good start.
Although Bishop there takes the inside of, he gets a good start and actually passes Killer Pros.
He pushed himself
and
into
Bishop,
first. Yeah. Oh, lovely clean move down the inside there for Bishop. Killer Pros has lost a bit. No. Killer Pros lost it. It seems like Disc has gone into first place.
Disc
No,
and Motsky
take
side by side, yeah. Oh my God, it's so close. And they're still battling it, going through the hairpin. Although Flying Disc now in the lead, has a solid lead. But again, like it's hard to pull away. Like we were talking earlier about the slipstream, and like as soon as you get into that slipstream, it's hard to pull away as a leader. And then if you have ballast too, it's hard to pull away in the corners.
Well, so, it looks like Disc is taking a solid lead at the moment. He's getting a bit of ground between those. I say that right as Motsky pulls up behind him, coming into that corner there. No, Disc keeps pulling away from the rest of the pack though. Yeah, so it's a little bit of a battle between Motsky and Trackhead for second and third, and then we've got Cobra right behind the 4 of them. Token Timmy following in fifth.
Motsky takes a clean inside into turn 1 and passes Trackhead to take that second position.
I think it might have been Timmy. We lost Timmy off in the dirt, sadly. Oh, I'm not sure what happened with B-Ship. He's dropped right back to 11th.
Yeah, Bishop was, for a second there, had an insanely good start and was temporarily in the lead. So I'm not sure what happened there.
No, I didn't see anything, but I may well have missed something. But Disc keeps maintaining this first place and seems to be doing his best to try and create something of a gap between himself and those behind him. Oh, and I think he's done very well. That was a beautifully taken corner. So now we also lost one other person at that corner. Motsky drops back to 4th.
I think it might have been Ollie Bolly. So Cobra had an insane like two to three passes on turns 8, 9, and 10 to get up into 3rd place. And then just now, Motsky losing out to Chad Brochill at the exit of turn 1. So Motsky went a little wide, got a tire into the dirt, and that allowed Chad to pass him on that little straight that's considered turn 2.
No, and they're being dragged back into that sort of group of like behind those battling for the podium. They're sort of all battling for that top midfield position. There's a big battle going on there. A lot of close racing between like Motsky, Neil, Sonny B, and Ollie Bolly. Sort of now battling for like 4th place, while up front we've got.
Oh my God! Ollie Bolly just goes into the barrier there. I don't know if he got pushed off, but at some point they were going into turn 8, like in 2 pairs of 2, side by side, and I think Ollie might have just been an unfortunate victim of the exit of turn 8.
Oh, Trackhead and both our leader Flying Disc run very wide at that corner there. Now, had Trackhead held it, he would have had the opportunity to make the move on Disc, but he's actually now dropped 2 places, allowing both Chad Brochill and Cobra to overtake him, with both of Disc and Trackhead taking that corner not very well at all. Now it's a matter of, can Disc get back to that sort of keeping down those tight turns and those tight apexes and keep maintaining that 1st place position. At this point, it doesn't look like it. It looks like Chad is going to try and make the move on him. Whether he can defend or not, we're about to see. So far, it looks okay for Disc, and Trackhead manages to maintain his 3rd place there in the podium. But there was both Trackhead and Flying Disc. Had they taken that corner better, they could have made a little bit more of a space for themselves out at the front. But after what's happened there, they've now allowed Chad has now taken the lead, taking the inside on Flying Disc there.
And Flying Disc does the over and under and cuts through on the inside.
And he's straight back into 1st place. Oh, that was very nice. Yeah, he just allowed him for a second to think he had it, and then just busted straight back out there into that 1st place position.
Yeah, excellent move by Flying Disc there. So this is pretty interesting. So Flying Disc is running the hards at the moment and currently in the lead. Chad is running the softs. And then Trackhead and Cobra are also on the hards. So like this first train here are except for Chad, are running all hard compounds. So Chad right now at the disadvantage, since he's currently running the softs. He's currently fighting with people who are currently running the hards.
I think for Disc, like psychologically, that's going to do great for him, because he'll know that Chad is on the softs and he still has that period on the soft compound to come yet. So the fact that he is still maintaining, and let's see how long he can actually defend 1st place against someone on that soft compound. But
so Chad looks at the inside again.
Disc is probably feeling pretty pleased with himself. Oh, as long as he's ran a bit wide there, but Disc is like, it doesn't seem to have affected him, but he's probably feeling that he's gone for the right strategy here, because if he can hold these guys off and then make his pit stop onto the softer compound, assuming that there isn't any shenanigans of any sort, then he can make his way back up to the front of the pack no matter what happens.
Oh, no.
Oh, we've lost track. Oh, that's not good for him, and he may well have taken damage there as well.
Yeah, so Trackhead falls back into 8th place. Even further than that. So that certainly was not potentially, podium-ending incident there for Trackhead. But we were talking about earlier that Flying Disc, his race is not with Chad, as Chad just dives into the pit right now. His race is actually with Cobra at the moment, who's also on the hard compound and only 4 seconds behind. So Flying Disc not necessarily out of the woods yet. And then we got Neil as well, also on the hard compound, not too far away. So Flying Disc still has his work cut out for him to stay in the lead. So Motsky is also on the hard tires, and Sunny B too.
Disc seems to be creating a good amount of space between him and the cars behind him, though. Like, if he can keep this sort of form up, no more like little mistakes, no more running too wide at the corners, I think Disc is going to put himself in a very, very good position if he can maintain this and then switch on to those softer compound tires. He's going to hopefully finish very strong, but we'll see. Yeah, so now Cobra, who was not particularly anywhere to be seen in the previous race, is now currently running in second.
Yeah, so Cobra finished 7th in the last race. So he has a really good opportunity here to potentially win this race if he can close that gap between him and Flying Disc. So Chad, coming out of the pits last lap, came out in 10th place behind Killapros, who's currently still on the softs. Yeah, I think Chad is in a tough position here because his entire soft stint got held up by the people running in the hard tires, and he wasn't able to pass Flying Disc with that stint. So he's going to be behind when it comes time for Flying Disc, Cobra, and Neil, and all the other leaders to switch to the softs towards the end of the race.
Well, and we've got a really interesting battle unfolding here for that third podium position. Well, I say third at the moment, it's anyone's podium position, but you've got Neil running out in third, Sunny B just behind him, Motsky not following far behind that, and then B-Ship right on Motsky's gearbox. Yeah. So it's going to be really interesting to see, like, when these guys choose to make their pit stops, and I'm assuming most of them are currently running on the hard tire and are going to go for the soft in their final, which may make Flying Disc's lead cut down a huge amount. But Disc, he's on the hard tire at this point, right? And he is still maintaining that lead. Cobra trying to make an attack behind him. But look at that for consistency. Like, those corners, he's taking those so well. He's keeping it tight to the apex. He is defending everyone off behind him. If he can keep doing that and dip into the pits for those softer compounds, he's put himself in a great position to win this race, or if not win, at least get a podium. But Cobra is not giving up the fight at all.
So take a look at this. Flying Disc's last 3 laps were approximately, so his last 2 laps were 116s in the low 116s. Cobra's last 3 laps was high 114s. His last lap though was a 116 because he ran into the back of Flying Disc. But Cobra certainly has a second on pace compared to Flying Disc, but you know, pace is one thing. It's another thing to pass the driver entirely.
Yeah.
So we'll
Yeah.
see. You know, Cobra, we saw in the last lap Cobra get really close to Flying Disc, and with these cars, when you get really close, you actually lose a little bit of downforce due to aero wash. So it's a little challenging to stay really close behind them, especially around high speed turns like turn 8, which they're about to go through right now. But we're kind of entering the pit window for the softs in maybe 1 or 2 laps. So we're going to see all these drivers dive in potentially at the same lap, or we might see one of them maybe try to undercut or overcut each other by pitting a lap earlier or a lap later.
You see, I would never advocate it, but maybe Disc is hoping that he can hold Cobra in his slip until he makes a mistake going, like, taking a corner too quick by giving him too much slipstream. Although Disc seems to be making more and more of a gap between him and those cars behind him at this point, I think it's all going to come down to that pit stop strategy, like how quick in and out they can be of the quick at the pits, sorry, and how quick they then are on the on the sorry, that's what rum does to you, but how quick they can then maintain those lap times on the faster compound tires, because like consistency on hard compound, it does kind of come easy, and what you get with the soft compound is like you can get your quickest laps ever, but you might well make a little mistake.
That's true. Yeah, that's totally true. Yeah, when you have that soft tire compound, you're able to push the car more, but then you have to keep the car on the bleeding edge for more laps. It's a lot more challenging to stay consistent. So Sunnyby right now takes the exit of turn. Oh, he dives into the pits. That was a really late dive into the pits by Sunnyby. I think he might get slapped by the 3-second penalty for crossing the pit lane entry. We'll see when he comes back out, but I think he crossed the pit lane line.
Yeah, well, that will happen if you run a Aston Martin livery. So
Cobra there getting 2 wheels onto the grass and making contact with Neil as he trying to looks for the inside. Neil being conservative and backing out, but Cobra on
and they're all losing their back ends a bit at that turn. Yeah, you can see the tire wears coming into effect there. Like, none of them look super confident coming around that turn.
I was just about to mention that the tire wear for Flying Disc and Cobra are virtually around, not 0, but like they're like 10%ish. So Cobra and Flying Disc struggling to get that power down out of those corners on the rear. And Neil, though, he's got some relatively new tires still. I don't know if he's been nursing those or
Neil
what, but
dives
like,
into the pits with them.
Yeah, he does.
So we've got all 3 of our front runners straight into the pits there. We've got Disc, Cobra, and Neil all jumping into the pits.
So we got Chad right now going down the front straight, who started on the softs and was battling with Flying Disc, Cobra, and Neil in the beginning. Now takes the net lead, but he has to go through the rest of this race on his hards while everyone else has their soft tires. So,
but has Chad already made his tire change?
He has. He started the race on softs, yeah.
So, I mean, he's got a decent lead here. If he can maintain, like, just consistency, like, he doesn't need to put his best lap in every time. He just needs to put a good lap in every time, and he can hold this to the end.
We'll see, though, because we saw last race, you know, with Sunnyby, like, making, you know, almost 2 seconds a lap. But this time, though, Chad isn't going to be fighting with anyone, so he's going to be able to run his car in clean air. And it looks like the inverse is happening. So there's B-Ship coming out of nowhere, actually, in second place on his soft tires.
Suddenly in second place, yeah.
Yeah. Like, we didn't
but
see
B-Ship
this entire race.
we know that Bishop is a very accomplished, incredible racer. Like, where has he been for the last couple of races? I know, like, the ballast and everything, and sometimes something can, like, outside of your hands can happen to affect you. I'm glad to see Bishop up here now battling for those podium positions, but I'm surprised that it's been this long to see him in those places, because he is one of LRC's most accomplished. Like, this is a guy that knows about his tire wear, knows how to drive, and I wouldn't be surprised now to see Bishop making some moves and making his way up to make much. And he is technically a reserve driver for today, if I'm correct. No.
No, he's been competing in all the races. Yeah, there's technically no reserve drivers in the Academy League, but check this out.
Right.
So Bishop right now, his last lap was a 12.9, sets the fastest lap of the race, and is on track to making the fastest lap this lap, and is already 1 second within Chad.
Yeah, no, look at him. He's on Chad's gearbox now. Yeah. So Bishop, his like experience is going to start to show soon. I can guarantee you that. Has he made his pit stop yet? If he already has,
he has.
Yeah. So he is absolutely in the fight, and I think this is where like experience is going to show. Like, Bishop is someone that I've known like since I joined LRC, and someone who is just a very consistent, very fast racer. So I wouldn't want to be Chad right now. Seeing Bishop's name behind you, it's not something you ever want to see, to be honest.
Oh no, so Bishop though, being careful not to...
Oh, but Sunny B makes the move down the inside, yeah.
So here's where
commentator's curse.
So here's where it gets tricky. So both of the cars have to make a safe overtake on Chad with the hard. So Chad's on the hard tires. Sunny B takes the outside of turn 10, hopefully to get a better launch. It makes it stick. Oh, gets his. Oh my God, he gets a little
he got a bit wobbly out there. Yeah.
So Bishop able to take advantage
this is exactly what Bishop wants. Those two make the battle. He takes the first place. Oh, now.
Very, very nice.
Now, is his experience going to show? Is he going to hold them all off for the remainder of the race? That's what I'm curious to see.
Mosky takes a quick look into the inside of Sunny B right now, and they're currently side by side. Yeah. Actually, they're 3 wide going into turn 3.
Yeah.
Sunny B keeps second place, or takes second place actually, and Mosky in third. So Chad Bro Chill is currently falling down the pack very quickly. Those hards are not holding up for him.
No. I don't know, but I wouldn't count out Chad though. He's been showing like glimpses of incredibly fast pace. Incredibly fast pace. And obviously, as I said before, like Motsky, we know he's one of the drivers that is just improving and improving. This is the trouble with everyone in LRC. They improve so much every time I see them race that it's so hard to call who is the best out of them. I mean, at the moment, we've got probably the longest serving LRC member at the front Bishop. And he does seem to be creating something of a gap between him. But Sunny B, one of the most improved racers I've seen over the last few weeks.
Oh, most certainly.
Motsky right behind him. And it's too hard to call. Like, this whole Academy League is going to end up for some amazing racing. And you know what? It's been so clean as well so far. Like, everyone has been like fair, clean racing, especially compared to like last week's second race, where I think maybe tensions ran a little high. At the moment, yeah. But as I've said, for me, it's all about those overtakes around the outside. So if someone makes an overtake around the outside to take first position in this, I will get very, very excited. But we're going to see. I think B-Ship's experience is going to show through here. I think he has got first place now, and he's going to boss that. Like, he's spent a lot of time with Dinosaur, and Dinosaur knows how to make your car wide. He teaches you how to make your car wide. So once you're in first, you don't give that position up, not without a big fight. And at the moment, I don't know whether that'll even be necessary for B-Ship, because he seems to be increasing that gap just gradually, but enough.
Yeah, certainly B-Ships looks comfortable starting the final lap of the race with a 1.3 second lead.
Yeah, he's got this. He's got, like, no one is. He will not let anyone past him. And you can call me back and say I was wrong, but like B-Ship is not gonna let any of these guys past him. Like, he will make sure he stays tight to the apex on every corner, puts his foot right down when it needs to be. Look at it,
So yeah, B-Ship
right, his experience is huge. Yeah, here we go, and across the line, he finishes in first. Sunny B, Motsky, Cobra. That was a great race. But, like, when we came to the end there, I think that was more about strategy than it was about race. But, as you see with B-Ship finishing first there, it's a combination of both. The guy just had racecraft and race strategy down to a T.
Yeah, it does seem like the drivers that started on the hards and ended up on the softs did end up taking the higher positions up in the race. Like, even we saw that with race 1. Sunny B with the softs in the second stint give him a huge advantage, even though the people who won the race started on the soft. So pretty amazing race. Like, this was like super exciting. Trackhead turning around the last corner at turn 10 out of 11, crossing the finish line to conclude the race, conclude race 2 of round 2 at Autopolis. Man, that was an absolute just like
that was
insanity.
an epic.
Yeah.
Just like every race, though. But again, I think, like, your LRC prowess showed through. Like, B-Ship winning that one. Oh, pardon me. But like he know, like, should he really be intermediate level anymore? I don't know.
All right, so let's go over the results one more time. So we got B-Ship with a win and the fastest lap. Congratulations, B-Ship. That was an epic win.
Well, yeah, great race.
Sunny B in second place and Motsky in third. So great job, Motsky, to get onto the podium.
Yeah,
Cobra,
another one of our polite Canadian boys.
Yep. So Cobra with a fourth place finish. Neil rounding out the top 5. Chad fell back to sixth place after having the net lead with his soft first strategy. Flying Disc in seventh. He started in the lead with this race. I think this race, right? Or
No, I was surprised that Disc
second,
fell off there. I like, if I was a betting man, I probably would have had my money on him to win. But again, with the weight restrictions and everything, who knows with these races, and that's what makes them great.
Yeah, it changes it up quite a bit. So
Yeah.
Flying Disc, in seventh. Token Timmy in eighth. Ollie Bali in ninth. Killer Pros in 10th, and Trackhead in 11th. So let me toss these in my spreadsheet real quick, and then we'll get the updated results on the current championship standings. And again, this is all the provisional results still. Like, there's incidents that will get reported at the end of the race, and those could potentially affect the results.
Hopefully, I mean, we didn't see any sort of huge incidents, so hopefully there's not going to be a massive amount of incident reports to go through, like some weeks.
It didn't seem like that much happened. Yeah, I agree.
No, it seemed very clean racing from everything that I saw from my point of view, for sure.
All right, so Flying Disc was 8, Token Timmy was... Sorry. Flying Disc was 7, Token Timmy 8. Bali 9. And And then Trackhead 11. So Trackhead not having the best result this time around. So let me pull up the current championship standings. Oh man, so Sunny B is running away with it. So Sunny B is in first place still with 51 points and 135 kg of ballast. So he's got way more ballast and he's still delivering. Flying Disc is in second place with 44 points, and B-Ship moves up into third with 43. So only 1 point difference between Flying Disc and B-Ship.
See, I would like to say it's a surprise that Sonny B's up there, but I've raced with him a few times over the last few weeks, and the guy is like, he's insane. Like he's getting times up there with like Dutra, and like he is getting really quick times, Sonny. He is getting super fast, and I'm not sure if we should allow Canadians to do that.
That's hilarious. All right, so we got. So it's still a tight field. So Trackhead is in fourth place with 41 points, just 2 behind B-Ship. We got Neil in fifth place with 40. Ali Bali and Moski tied for sixth with 36 points. Cobra and Token Timmy tied for eighth with 28 points. Chad with 25 points. And then Kaido wasn't able to race today, neither Thunder Mouse or Dinosaur. So
Oh, that's a
11,
shame because
12, and
Kaito
13.
he's a very good racer, Kaito. So it's a shame we didn't get to see
Yeah,
him today.
I think it was like it was like his brother's birthday or something, so he couldn't attend, unfortunately.
Well, I'm sorry, but you should put LRC above real life things. And and if you don't, then you don't win the championships.
So Killer Pros in 14th at the moment. He had some pretty good runs today. Like unfortunately, I think there were 1 or 2 instances where it kind of slowed him down. So I think Killer Pros has a lot of potential to score really highly. He's just almost there. He's he just maybe needs the consistency, or maybe it's getting used to the G Pro wheel. So
Yeah.
some things for him to iron out. War Eagle wasn't able to race today. He's in 15th, and then Rogue also wasn't able to race today, so he's currently in 16th.
Oh man, I miss War. I want to hear more from War. He's got the best American accent out of all of you guys. No offense, but
No offense taken. All right, so that
but
concludes.
yeah, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
But yeah, if you want to hear a guy talk like proper, like an American person, like stereotypically but beautifully, then listen to War. His accent's the best. Anyway, yeah, carry on with the real race talk.
Sounds good. Well, that concludes our round 2 at Autopolis. If you've enjoyed what you watched today, feel free to follow us and join us for not next week, because next week we're going to have a break, but the following week we'll continue with the Academy League for round 3, and then round 4 the following week after that will be the final race of the Academy League. So that will conclude the Academy League in 3 weeks. But then after that's done, it'll probably be maybe 2 to 3 weeks before we start the next league season. So the league season 3, and that's going to be
That's the
absolutely
like
insane.
NASCAR season, right?
Oh yeah, it's going to be absolutely insane.
It's gonna be so good. Yeah, I can't wait.
All right, so again, if you just join us, so we're LRC. I forgot to put a link, an invite link in the chat, but maybe I can do that after the broadcast. But definitely check us out. Join us. So like this Academy League is open to anyone who wants to join, who's not an alien or insanely fast. So it gives you an opportunity to try out league racing and get familiar with league racing without the insane pressure. And everyone here is really supportive. So it's a great community. So with that being said,
It really is.
Do you have anything to add, or any final comments, any closing comments?
Just, I just want to say, like, I've really enjoyed it. It was such a great race, like, so clean. Like, there was no horribleness. like, not saying there was horribleness last week, but last week there was a few incidents, and you could see like the improvements that everyone has made in their sportsmanship in last week to this week, which is fantastic to see. So I was just really happy to be a part of it, get to view it, and get to commentate on it. And thanks so much for having me here, Wonka. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thanks for joining me. So with that being said, we'll see you next week. So thanks for watching.